Wings, you can actually call me Miss Diva Wings if you would like to. So we are live. I'm going to flip this camera and use it to be on Facebook Live with you guys. Sorry you get to see my office looking all crazy, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I am Kathleen, the founder and creator of the Diva Wings Bra Organizer. And in just a moment, I'm going to have a guest by the name of Melissa Danielle. She's going to tell you all about herself, what she does, her product, her brand, and all of those good things. But first, let me just welcome you to our page. Welcome to the Real Diva Wings on YouTube. And we are also streaming live on Facebook. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to be back live again. Like it's been forever. So I'm happy. But let's get into this interview and welcome our guest for today.
Hi, how are
Hello.
you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Melissa and I met in a group on Facebook called Gold Friends, right? So shout out to Gold Friends. And we decided to do this collaboration because this is all about empowerment and lifting women up, lifting each other up, especially in the business world, right? As female entrepreneurs, it's important for us to connect and to support one another. So that's definitely what we are into. So, Melissa, what's the name of your business?
My business is called Melda Moda, and we are a sleepwear brand. Our goal is for you to make rest a part of your nightly ritual, and we aim for you to do that by starting with some pretty sleepwear.
Some pretty sleepwear. Now, and the name of your business is what? Melda Moda?
Melda Moda, yes.
Okay. What's behind the name of your brand?
Yeah, the name is it came from it really means Melda style. So Moda meaning style. Melda was my childhood babysitter. She was a second mom. She was a seamstress, so I spent a lot of time with her at different fabric stores and then coming home and watching her sew her pieces. And I don't know that I ever saw her wearing all black. She was very much into color and print. And so as the brand started coming together and you can see the various colors and prints behind me, I was like, oh, this is very much like her style. So that's where the name came from.
Oh, I see the connection. Melda style, Melda Moda. I
Mhm.
get it. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Melissa?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I am many things, right? And many things changing as well at this point. But I always start and tell people I'm from Brooklyn. I'm of Caribbean descent, and I think that informs a lot of what it is that I do. Is just where I came from. I am someone who has always had a love affair with clothing, and I use clothes as my way to express myself. Um, I'm a lover of travel. I love spending time with my girlfriends, girls' trips. But in the last few years, I also just, love being at home and having those cozy times. I spent over a decade in HR in the last half of maybe 6, 7 years um, in HR and startups. And so that was a lot of my time was spent at work hustling, trying to climb that corporate ladder. In the last few years, I've sort of been like, is that really what I want to do? Is that really who I am? Right. And realizing that no, it's not. It was a means to a certain sort of lifestyle because I like nice times, I like nice things. But a lot of my identity had been wrapped up in being that, woman in tech and an executive in tech. But I'm someone that loves, like I said, nice times, nice things, spending time with friends, family, and Time in my house, really.
Look, I think I certainly agree. With me and my condition, as far as I have a traumatic brain injury, so I had to spend a lot of time in my house. And so I had to learn, first of all, I had to change my environment. I wanted it to be more cozy, more feminine. And then I had to adapt to my environment. And then I had to start to love being at home, which is totally different for me because I'm used to going, doing. And now that I'm at home more, I try to find the pleasures in my home. And so one of the things that I find myself into now is my loungewear because I do spend a lot of time at home. So not that I'm lazy and just laying around in pajamas, right? But I want to be comfortable. And I think that the more we step into this soft life or self care or this feminine side of life, we spend more time looking at our intimate apparel and our loungewear as well. We are beginning to really take care of ourselves, right? And stay in that mode, right? Of just self-care and allowing ourselves to be comfortable and free and enjoy every moment. So that sounds good. So, got a few little questions for you, okay?
Okay.
What is your favorite fragrance?
Ooh. That's a hard one for me because when I think of like, if I'm thinking of perfumes, I will love something for a month and then I'm over it. And then I don't want to have that anymore. I'm on to something
You owe to
new.
something else.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
What's your preference? Brunch or dinner?
I love a dinner.
A
Dinner.
nice dinner.
A
What's
nice
your
yeah,
go-to? Say you have a date or you're going out with friends, whatever the case may be. What's your go-to? Casual, cute, or glam?
glam.
Glam. You gonna put it on?
Listen, I met up with a former coworker the other day, and I have this vintage, it was given to me by one of my mom's friends, a vintage, like, vest that was, like, very dramatic, and she's like, "Where are you going in that?" I'm like, "I came to meet you." Like,
Right.
and
Because
she's like,
I
"I
think
was thinking, like, something very basic," but I don't I love a look, a moment.
right,
Yeah.
right. I understand that. I'm kind of the same way, even though I could put on like a long sleeve t-shirt and some jogging pants or whatever. I'm still gonna make it cute. I'm still gonna make it like matchy and something's gonna be going on with it. But so thanks for answering those questions. So we just got to learn a little bit more about Melissa. And I'm excited because when I saw your brand and I saw your loungewear, I just knew there was a deep connection there. I knew there was some type of personal connection with your line because a lot of people don't realize it, but you can actually see in a person's brand their personality in their brand. You can kind of see their story in their brand. And when you see something that's well designed, well made, well thought of, and then well put out, then you feel like you can trust that brand. You feel like you can, believe that brand to bring you the quality that you desire in your life, the quality pieces, and you feel like that brand will continue to do so. That's how I felt. When I saw your brand, I went through your page, I was like, "Oh wow. I love her stuff. I just love it." So, you answered the question earlier about where the name came from. What made you said you were climbing the corporate ladder, but you knew it was something else. We're going to revisit that because what made you
Mhm.
actually take that step and say, "I'm going to start my own business"?
Yeah, so a couple things. I had this idea, so I'll skip back. So I told you I love a look, I love a moment. But before COVID, right, I spent a lot of time outside of the house, whether that was at work or I live in New York City. So, Broadway or whatever. There's always something to do in New York. And when we went into quarantine, I realized that, like, as much thought and effort I had put into my outside wardrobe, I had not done the same for my inside wardrobe. So now we're not going out, we're not going anywhere, but a lot of the clothes that I would wear out were dry clean only. I don't even know if the dry cleaners were open in New York at that time. So I wasn't wearing, the printed suits or the colorful outfits. They were in the closet. And I was wearing a lot of like gray sweats, t-shirts that I had gotten for free at different events, and that just wasn't me. So as tough as it was, all of us living through COVID and then in New York with this strict lockdown, then my clothes weren't reflective of me. That was hard. So I was like, okay, well, I should get some cute home clothes, right? And when I was growing up, home clothes was a big concept because I always wore a uniform to school. So after school, I had my home clothes. I didn't now by then, in COVID, it was just t-shirts and plain sweats. So I started looking for these cute home clothes, and I couldn't find prints that I really wanted at that time. And so that's where the idea first came from. Well, if I can't find it, I should just create it, right? And so I got our first print made. But then I got a new job. It was even more demanding, and I kind of forgot about this whole concept. Um, but I had a day at work where it wasn't a day, it was the feeling was going on and on. And I had a day where I just had to have a conversation with the leadership at my job and say, like, I feel misaligned and burned out. Like, it was at the point where the money wasn't making it worthwhile for me. I just wasn't happy doing that every day. So I took a career break, and I always thought that I would, take some time off and I'd go back. And during that time off, I went to Portugal, and now I'm learning about sustainable fabrics, the whole sustainable fashion scene they have over there. And I was like, oh, my prints probably would look really good and feel really nice on these fabrics. And as I got to having conversations about going back to work,
So
I
hold on
knew.
one second, Melissa. Got a question.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
were you already you were already designing loungewear at that time? You were already
No,
sewing?
no, it was during, 'cause so I don't sew, by the way. It was during COVID when I realized I couldn't find the pajamas that I wanted, and I said I should make this. I had a designer. I spoke with her about what it is I wanted to see. I created a mood board, and she brought the concept to life for me. But
Now,
then
question. How
yeah.
did you know, how did you even know that you needed a mood board? Like how what was the springboard to even getting you into
Hmm.
designing?
So she is the one who I think she's the one that told me to create a mood board. I reached out to her. I said, "Look, this is what I want." I knew I wanted at the time I was watching um Black Panther over and over, right? And so I wanted something that reminded me of Wakanda. So I was like, I want a panther. But I want it to be floral. I want it to be brightly colored. Here are some colors. And then she's like, okay, well, put all these things in one place. Like you can start it on Pinterest, right? And so that's where the first mood board came from. Later on, I started using a mood board tool. But at that time, she was like, you can create all of a board on Pinterest, a private board to share with me all these different things. And that's how that came about. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is
Yeah.
interesting. So you go from I'm trapped in the house to I still want to be stylish and fashionable to I visit Portugal and I see something that I like. I get a feel for the fabric. You make a call because of your interest, and then you get some direction. She's like, first thing you need to do is make a mood board. And
Yeah.
then you don't waste any time. You get that done. And then you're kind of like on to the next step. So oh wow, so you took a break from work and all of that. That's amazing. And it's I'm pretty sure it's similar to a lot of stories that we hear about people who
Mhm.
break away from the corporate scene or their regular job or career and really launch a business, get into what their heart desires, their passion. And so that's a commonality amongst entrepreneurs by and large.
Yeah.
So awesome. So how long have you been in business now?
So we've not been in business that long. So this all started in 2020, right? The first
Okay.
idea started in 2020. I took my career break in 2021. And then yeah, I took the career break end of 2021. And in 2022 is when we went into production. And I thought we would launch November 2022. We ended up never getting the products until April 2023. So it was stressful. There was a whole lot going on, and because this is not my space, right? I just was kind of having to wait for things to
Right.
happen, and keep calling, making requests and things like that. So we never got the product until April 2023. And that's when we launched. I got them whatever day it was. I went live that night to say the product is here. um, and we launched a couple days later for sale. Yeah. So
Awesome. That's very interesting. Now, me, I've been in since I'm already in that space where you first have to get your samples, you have to get your
yeah.
prototype, you have to get your samples, you have to, and then you're off to the market, right? Your goal is to mass produce, to find someone that can actually manufacture that product. And along the road, you will find that you will be delayed. Sometimes you are delayed. You're going to run into setbacks. It's going to happen. I remember one of the biggest opportunities I had was to be on one of the national shopping channels. And when
Mhm.
I got to that level and had that opportunity, this was with one of my other products. I found out that I was not ready because I didn't have a person who could mass produce them. And it seems
Mhm.
weird. It's like, well, common sense, you would have to have somebody who could make thousands of these. But sometimes you can pitch your product and they will buy your idea and they'll make it themselves. You got all types of
Right.
situations out there. But for my case, what happened was I had a person to mass produce my product, but then the company that I had to mass produce my product, they received a contract from Boeing. And when they got the contract from Boeing, they kicked me out. And
Yeah.
so, and that happens too. So in business,
And I think that's what happened with me, right?
yeah, it can
Is
happen. Yeah.
they
So if you're
tried
in
to
business,
up our
uh,
minimums, and when I said no, I couldn't do that, like, we had already had an agreement. I think as they got bigger orders coming in, they're like, "We're gonna fulfill those bigger orders, and you're just gonna
right.
have to wait." And that's how a launch date of November ended up being a launch date of April, the following year.
Almost 6 months later. And
Yeah.
that will, yeah, you have to be prepared because that will happen. But I love the fact that you continue down your path and didn't let that discourage you. And of course, you were at a point where there is no turning back. Like you've done
Right.
all the work. Now, yeah, you've done all the work. So now it's like a waiting game.
Mhm.
So that's very interesting, very typical, very common. And for anybody that's listening, things like this will happen. So if you're in business and you're trying to launch, don't get discouraged. Don't fall out with your manufacturer. Don't start cussing people out. It's a part of the game. It's a part of life. It's going to happen. Don't berate them. Don't beat them down because guess what? It's going to happen. So when I'm providing my consultations for people who have great ideas, I always tell them build a list of at least 10 manufacturers because if
Mm.
something happens, you want to be able to pick up the phone and just call the next person. Keep
That's
your
good
business
advice.
relationships strong and in a good place because you may
Mhm.
have to circle back around and use them at some point. So always be positive and think about everyone you meet in relationship terms and not
Mhm.
just a contract because
Yeah.
you're going to end up working with people and so you want to keep that door open. And if they're going to sabotage it, even if they try to sabotage it, try to preserve it because they may not even know that they need to bless you. Okay.
Right.
You need them there to bless you. So keep that door open. What was you already told us this, but I'm gonna go back to it anyway because I really
Mhm.
liked it and it was early on in the conversation. But what was your inspiration to your colors and patterns? Because I heard you say Melda, that's the brand that you built it off of, and she was your nanny.
She was my babysitter. She was
Okay,
like a second mom to me.
okay,
Um, yeah, I think I spent more time growing up in her house with her family than I did in my
at
own
home.
house, really.
So I noticed with your patterns is that you said you're from the Caribbeans.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
So
so
that
is that
influence is all
do you guys
in
hold
and
on? Do you
through
guys say Caribbeans or Caribbean?
Caribbean. I say Caribbean, but some people say
Okay,
Caribbean. So it really just
okay, so
depends on who you are, what island you're from, all that stuff.
okay, so I'll be interchanging those. Okay,
Okay.
all right. So of course the Caribbean, the Caribbean is full of color, full of life,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
very festive, very full of very vibrant. And
Mhm.
so when I look at your line, that's what I see. So obviously you're capturing memories from home,
Mhm.
in your clothing line and also holding on and extending your heritage in a way.
Yeah.
So kind of
So
share with
our
uh-huh.
I'm gonna try and pull one, maybe. Maybe
Because that's
not.
my favorite. The red and gold. Is that red and yeah.
This one, it's no, it's like a deep a chocolate
Oh,
and
oh,
beige.
oh, it's like a chocolatey. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
I just
this
like the gold. I like the gold leaves. And look, I'm
Oh,
blind. I
I
can't.
love it. I'm glad you like that. So this one and the pink one behind me is
Uh-huh.
inspired by sorrel. So I don't know if you've ever had the drink called sorrel. It's something that my mom, who's from St. Vincent, used to make every holiday season. So she really only made it at Christmas time. It's a deep red colored drink. It's made by boiling these sorrel leaves. And I just have so many great memories connected with that. I was always in charge of helping her fill the bottles up, and we'd have friends and family come pick their bottles up every Christmas. And so that sorrel leaf or sorrel blossom is in our print here. I'll try and bring it closer again for you to see. So these are just our different interpretations of it. And that's also our logo. Um,
Oh, it
and it's
is.
in, it's
I just noticed
in
it.
yeah, and it's in this one as well. So this is more closely aligned with what the color of the sorrel leaf would be. And so I didn't see that happening in any other brands. And so that was the inspiration for both of these prints. This one is a digital interpretation of it, and this one was hand painted for us.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, that's exactly what I mean. When I saw your brand, I knew there was a deep connection. I knew it was something personal. I knew it
Thank
was full
you.
of rich heritage, family, origin. I just knew it was. And I was like, I just want to hear her story. I want to hear the story behind her brand. And all I could do when I saw that, I was like, even the pink one, I was like, I could really enjoy a cup of coffee in that robe. Like I could
Yes.
really, I could see myself just like all nice and feeling all my feminine self, just relaxing and enjoying a cup of coffee, or even just casually laying on my couch. Where sometimes, right before I go to bed, I like to catch a movie sometimes, and
Mhm.
you just you're in your home and you want to be comfortable, but you want to feel good and you want to look good too, even though you're about to go to bed. It's still a thing, right? So thank you
It
for
is.
sharing that, because I'm like, wow, I'm so invested in this brand. Like
Thank
I'm just
you.
so excited for you.
I'm
Did you
glad
want
that
to add
that
anything else?
resonated with you. Yeah, I was gonna say, so one of the things that I mentioned that I was burnt out, right? And
Right.
when I was lucky enough to say like, okay, I'm going to take a career break. But that's not everybody's story, right? And a few years before, I probably would not have been able to afford to do that. And so as I was thinking of going back to work now, re-entering the workforce, it was like, well, what could I do to make sure that I'm not reaching that phase of burnout again? And one of the things I thought of was like, I needed to have some boundaries with my job, right? I don't know if you experienced this, you probably have friends who did. When we went into lockdown, work sort of became nonstop because now you're at home all day. The expectation was, well, you're at home. What else do you have to do? Like, you should be able to respond to my Slack messages at 2 a.m. or 7 a.m. on a Saturday. And that's something that even before COVID, I had trouble with boundaries with work. But once we went into lockdown, it kind of went over the top. And so, one thing I thought was, when the new year starts, people want to go to the gym, they buy new gym clothes, right? And you put on that outfit and you know you're going to go to the gym. So my thought was, okay, let's get this pajama brand going, and when you put on the pajamas, let that be your signal to yourself to stop working. Turn off the Slack
Mhm.
notifications, turn off the emails, and begin your wind down routine. So for me, um, I come home, I shower, I'm slipping on whether it's my robe or my pajamas, and I'm getting into that unwind state. So I like to put on a candle, melt a candle, and have a cup of tea. Sometimes I'll do a guided meditation or read a book. For you, you're watching a movie. And yeah, and I know that I'm looking forward to putting on something that's pretty and that feels good. Um, and
That's your
I
routine.
can
That's your
just
day.
relax. Yeah, I look forward to it now, right? So I look forward to putting this on more than I did just my free white tea that I'd gotten in a grab bag or
Right.
something. Yeah.
I mentioned to you in earlier conversation, not on this, when we first met online, was that I always thought I wouldn't like the feel of satin. So I've never
Mhm,
bought satin pajamas. I normally buy like the knit fabric. It's like a really soft, but
mhm.
it's like a
Yeah.
cotton, but it's like a knit type of
Mhm.
situation.
Like Moro
So
probably.
yeah, I don't know the technical name for the textile, but it's like soft. It's almost like, and then I buy a lot of thermal, yeah, stretchy, and I buy
Mhm,
a lot of thermal wear. So I've bought some things from like Rihanna's line and
mhm.
Victoria's Secrets, and then I go to
Yeah.
Marshalls and pick through their stuff, and that's
Mhm,
normally what I wear to bed, and I like little sets, and
mhm,
so and I had about five different robes, different lengths, different feels, and all of that. So anyway, the bottom line is for my birthday, my daughter bought me a pink satin set and
mhm.
I put it on, and when I saw it, I was like, I'm going to be sweating in this thing. I'm not going to like the way it feels against my skin. But I put it on, and I was like, whoa, this feels good. And so then I was like, I need a long sleeve one. And no soon as I had that, because my birthday was just in January,
Okay.
but the
Happy
package,
birthday.
thank you. But the package arrived like 2 weeks later for some
Mhm,
reason or whatever. I don't know what it was. But anyway, after I put it on, I knew then I was like, I need some really nice loungewear because this is nice. And I practice meditation as well, but not like every day. I practice meditation on Saturday after I do my workout or sometimes before I
mhm.
start my workout. But I won't be doing it in my loungewear, but because I'm sweating. But it was so nice and it felt so good to the touch. So I'm excited because I know I'm going to order a set from you, and I can't wait to receive it because now I'm just like, you want to have a wardrobe for every part of your life. And it's just
Mhm,
like me selling the bra organizer. A lot of women realized when they saw that I sell the Diva Wings bra organizer right behind me.
mhm.
A lot of women realized they had, excuse my language, raggedy bras. Like, you're not caring about yourself. They're worn, they're tattered, strings are pulled, they're dirty, they're grimy. A lot of women realize they don't have really nice things.
Mhm.
And a lot of women don't realize that it's okay for you to invest in yourself. It's okay, and you really should invest in yourself. These are the closest things to your body, your clothes
Mhm.
you wear.
Yeah.
You want to feel good about those things. And so the more women see my product, the more they think about, hey, I need to invest in myself. And that's the
Mhm.
way I see your brand. It's like when I see Melda Moda, am I saying it correctly?
Yes, you are.
When I see Melda Moda, I think to myself, even when I look at your logo, I think to myself, I need to invest in myself. I need to increase and expand my nightly wardrobe, right? Instead of just putting on a t-shirt and some leggings and crawling in the bed. It's like,
Mhm.
no, invest in yourself. And I tell the women the same thing about bras. Go get you a nice fitting, go to a boutique, a bra shop, and have
Mhm.
yourself experience a fitting. Get your bra fitting so you can buy the correct bra, the correct style of bra, and the bra that gives you all the features that you need. And then you'll have a good experience with your bra. And if you have a good experience with your bra, you don't come home and throw your bra off because you feel good in it. It's not stabbing you in
Right.
the side. It's not, your boobs aren't half hanging out. And so you have a different experience with your bras and you're able to enjoy them. I feel the same way about your brand. I feel like it's a piece. Those are pieces that I can get home and I can take off my work clothes. And of course, I work from home now. I'm home primarily. But for the average woman like yourself who's in the corporate arena, when you come home and you want to decompress and you want to, just calm your day down, I love the way that you said it's kind of like setting a boundary, right?
Mhm.
It's like
Yes.
when I put this on, this is my time. Work,
Yes.
it-
Exactly.
work is no longer a part of my day. I've done work. I'm home. I'm decompressing. I'm in my happy space, and this is what it is. What should customers expect
Yeah,
from your
so
brand?
when you put on a Melda Moda piece, know that there's a lot of intention and love that has gone into this. Very thoughtful about the fabrics that we use, um, hiring women artists to create these prints for me. Like I said, this one was hand painted by a young woman, right? So
Oh, I
giving her a
love it. I
platform for
love
her
it. I love it.
art. So thoughtful design and a lot of love. This has been a labor of love put into it. So, when you are purchasing from us, you're supporting a small business, a Black woman owned business, but not just me, the Black women artists who make these prints for me. And then we also are always using factories that are committed to paying fair wages to their employees. So lots of intention behind the brand.
Lots of intention, lots of integrity, lots of
Integrity, yes.
character, a lot of personal heritage. I love everything about Melda Moda. I
Thank
really love everything about it. Now I'm gonna take a little quick turn here. The
Mhm.
one drink that you were inspired by to make those two robes, is it like a coffee, or what is it? What is
No,
it?
it's usually, well, now you can find it more often, right? And I've seen it even branded as a non-alcoholic wine, but it's a cold drink. Um, and like I said, it's the leaves blended with sugar and cinnamon, depending on your island that you're from. Some islands they'll
Right.
put some orange peel in it. There might be some cloves in it, some allspice. So it's like a spicy, sweet drink that you would usually have in the holidays. And so in St. Vincent, it's
Oh,
called sorrel, but this This print we call the Bissap, and that's because when I went to Ghana, I had a drink called Bissap. It's almost the same exact thing, but they call it
Hmm.
Bissap there. I think in parts of Mexico they call it Jamaica, Jamaica. I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but it's a red drink, a reddish purple drink, um, and spicy and sweet, but that you would generally drink cold.
That is
Oh, in
so.
some
Look, I
places
know.
they call it hibiscus. That's the other thing. You might hear it called hibiscus as well.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All
Mhm.
right. So, now, thank you for being here with me, Melissa.
Thank
I
you for
hope you
having
guys
me.
have there's no way you're gonna watch this video and not know the Melda Motor brand and not feel like you know Melissa, because she brought all of who she is and what Melda Muda is about into this interview. And I feel, like I said from the beginning, I knew there was a story there. I knew there was a connection. I knew it was true heritage, and I knew it was personal. And I also knew it was quality because I could look at it and I could tell she took her time. She was intentional. The fabrics. And if you guys don't know, well, plainly to put it in plain terms, what you get off of Timu versus what you get from Nordstrom's, those are two very different qualities. And so
Yeah.
when I look at your brand, I'm thinking Saks, I'm thinking Nordstrom's, I'm thinking the Loft, I'm thinking like very nice, high end, very nice
Yeah.
feel. I can look at the stitching, I can see the quality of the material, I can see the body and the weight of the fabric. All of those things matter. From
Yes.
satin to satin, all of those things matter. How they're woven, how tight the weaving is, all of those little intricate details matter when it comes to fabric and how it's going to land on your body. It
On
makes
your
a
body. Yes.
world of difference. So thank you for joining us today. I feel like you're a great brand. I know you're going to do extremely well. I'm glad to see a Black owned company, a woman owned company who is making loungewear, especially now that I'm moving that way and getting into it. Definitely tap into other circles where not only Black women but women in general are tapping into
Mhm.
that luxury mindset. And you know what I like about your prices is they're not even outrageous. Like like they're really really nice, and like I'm just looking forward to getting your pieces. But where can everybody find you? I know where to find you, but where
You
can
know,
everybody find you? Find Melda
yes.
Moda.
So you can find Melda Moda always at our website, which is www.meldamoda.com. So that's MELDAMODA.com. I'm on Instagram at Melda Moda. Um, on TikTok, we're at melda.moda, and on Facebook at Melda Moda. So those are the various arenas where you can find us. But always meldamoda.com should be your go-to if you're in the market for a new pair of pajamas. Go on ahead to Melda Moda. And if you're in New York City, we do private shopping experiences here in our suite. So you can come on down and feel it, try it on, and really get the feel um, of what we're doing.
I love it. Oh, there's a suite. You can go and try it on and do some
There's the
shopping.
suite.
So
Yes, you
listen,
can
grab your
shopping.
girlfriends when you go to New York. I plan on coming to New York this year. I've never been to New Jersey, never New York. So I do plan to visit New York at some point. So listen, grab your girlfriends, do some shopping, and she is waiting to see you. So thank you for the invitation, Melissa. We appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Yes, and when you're here, come on over.
Of course, I'll have you on my list. I have a vacation plan in June in Florida. Where I'll see a couple of my friends, and I'm actually going with a friend, and I'll see a couple of other friends while I'm there. But when I come to New York, I'll be looking for Melda Moda. Maybe we can grab a coffee or something or something like that, and do some shopping, grab some coffee, whatever. But
My favorite
thank
thing
you for
to do.
joining me for this live. And yeah, love your brand. Can't wait to see what you do in your market. And it was amazing having you here. Anything else you want to add before we close out?
I just want to thank you for inviting me onto your platform and encouraging me in this way. This is a completely new arena for me. So it's been a blessing to come upon other entrepreneurs and get their advice. I appreciate all of it. So just thank you for it.
You're more than welcome. That's it, guys. That is Melissa with Mel Demoda. I'm Kathleen, the founder and creator and designer of the Diva Wings Bra Organizer. And this is Woman to Woman Side Chat. And today we have Melissa, and thank you for coming. And in the future, I'll have on other entrepreneurs, and you can always come back and watch us live. I'm going to try to do this weekly, maybe every 2 weeks, something like that. You can catch us on, this is streamed live on YouTube and a little snippet on Facebook, but I'm going to upload it to Facebook. You can always go to my YouTube, Diva Wings YouTube page, and catch all the interviews and lives. But thank you for being here. You were amazing. And I will see you guys the next time.